Yo, what's up everybody? How is it going? Welcome to the Weirdness of 7.23. Like always, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at everything that's in the new Dota patch and what do you need to know about it. Now, when I say everything, I mean not everything. We're not going to have a look at literally every detail. So for example, one of the things in the new patch is that Jakiro's strength gain was increased by 0.2. You don't need to know that. I don't need to know that. Nobody really needs to know that. The hero is stronger because of it, but it doesn't really change how you play the hero. So what we're going to be talking about is really changes to the game that change how you play it. Whether that be changes to heroes, changes to items, changes to general mechanics, changes to the map, all of that stuff. But the requirement is that it needs to change something about how the hero works, about how the mechanics work, just generally about how things work. Alright? Cool. Fantastic. Now, something that's going to be a little bit different this time around is I have this cute little document that I wrote, and I'm actually going to link it in the description. This is basically all of the content that I will cover in this video, and it's even a little bit more complete than the things that I will cover in here. So in case you are intimidated by these patch notes, which, I mean, it's very reasonable, right? Then you can look at No More Brainpower on YouTube now. Then you can go ahead and look at this document and go through it, and you will see everything that I'm going to talk about. It might also just help you to have it open, you know, kind of like read along, although I will kind of be skipping around a little bit. All right? Cool. Awesome. So let's get into it. But before we do that, really quick reminder, currently Disasters is on sale. We are doing a Christmas sale, well, holiday sale. A sale over December, right? Where the game is 50% off, still includes worldwide free shipping. And yes, we are hardly making money on this anymore. But frankly speaking, I just want to get, the game into everybody's hand that doesn't have it yet. Everybody that wants to have it, everybody that couldn't afford it up to this point. So, yeah, if you're interested, just go to disasters.com, buy the game as normal, and then at checkout, enter the code GIFT to get 50% off your order. So, let's get into it. We're going to start by talking about the general mechanics, right? There is a lot of stuff here. Now, the first thing that we're going to address are couriers, actually. So you can see we've got 5 couriers in the base. This is not because I bought 5 couriers, but that's because I control 5 heroes. Well, actually speaking, I control a lot more than 5 heroes, but still, you get the point. Every hero now has their own courier that they control independently. Now this courier becomes increasingly more powerful the higher level your hero is. And that's what it's attached to. The higher level your hero, the more powerful the courier. Another important thing about the courier is that the courier is now your source of passive gold. So, you know how in Dota you just kind of get passive GPM as the game goes along? Well, you no longer just get that, it is now tied to your courier. And when your courier dies, you lose that passive gold, which is a really important thing to keep in mind. Now, not only that, but the couriers are actually weaker in the very early stages of the game. So at low levels, couriers are significantly easier to kill than they were previously, right? And that kind of means that sniping couriers is probably something that you will experience while playing in this new environment. Now, the courier, not only does it become more powerful in terms of HP and movement speed, but it also gains abilities that it usually would just have as a flying courier. So, against flying movement, when your hero hits level 5, against speed burst, which is, this thing, at level 10, against the ability to use wards. So you don't have to place wards manually anymore. You can just have them on the courier, and then the courier can place them for you. Well, I guess maybe not. Alright, maybe this courier doesn't let me, but I don't know, one courier definitely will. Okay, point being, it works. I think it's just freaking out because it got too many heroes on the map. But it gets the ability to use wards at level 15 against the shield active, which is this thing right here, at level 20. So this is something that it just used to have, right? But now it gains it at level 20. Level 20, of course, being fairly late into the game. Meaning, yeah, these couriers are just kind of a bit easier to kill. And then at level 25, against the ability to just use items. You can just use items of it. Important thing to note here, though, is that couriers still need mana, so you need to first buy mana for the courier to use items that require mana, like Meteor Hammer, like Necrobook, like Dagon. But as long as you do that, you'll actually be able to use them. The difference here is that couriers don't have stats, so you can't buy intelligence to increase the mana pool. You have to actually buy something like an energy booster. But as long as you do that, that will actually work. Anyway, a few other changes to the general economy. Wards are just free now. Great. I'm a big supporter of that. Right. Also, heroes now start with free town portal scrolls. So you can see I've got free town portal scrolls down here. Everybody, all of these heroes have free town portal scrolls. That's because you just start with 3 of them. That's it. You just have free town portal scrolls. And yeah, that's kind of nice. Then there's also like a kind of like more, I don't know, deeper mechanics change, but heroes that have recently applied damage or debuff on an enemy hero that dies are now considered part of the area Sysgold, even if they're no longer alive or in that area. So it's kind of a bit of a misunderstanding, I think, in terms of like how mechanics work in Dota. This is something that's very poorly explained in Dota as well. But a lot of people think that to get assist goal, you need to actually assist with the kill, as in you need to, you know, attack the unit, deal damage to it. But that's actually completely irrelevant, or at least used to be, because you just need to be in the area around them when they die. But now, if you do deal damage to them and you get an assist, then it actually also works. Which is great, because this essentially means that in big team fights, where especially supports will die early, but they did some damage, they now still get the gold. They get their assist gold from the kill, even though they're dead. Which is just a great way to kind of like introduce more gold onto the map, while not handing all of it to the carries. So I like that change a lot, but it's something that really you don't need to worry too much about. I guess if you want to play with it in mind, you want to just make sure you deal some damage to somebody in a fight. You know, I mean, ideally you want to be Zeus, run into a fight, push ultimate, right? You're going to get assist gold in all 5 heroes if they die, even if you get killed right away afterwards. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and have a quick look at the map. So the map was changed a bit. It was made to be more open, right? That's kind of like the big thing. You can see we have this right here. There's a new ramp that leads into the... Actually, I think this one was there before. I think actually this area here is largely unchanged. But if we go ahead and we have a look at this, right? You can see there's a ramp here. There's a ramp here. There's this ramp over here. Alright, so we've now got 3 ramps in this general area. Also, ward spots. There's a ward spot up here. There's a ward spot up here, which actually, this ward spot is pretty nice. Look at how much area it covers. Right, and then you can see this area is largely unchanged, so this is nothing too crazy here. You can see there's a camp now in this like bottom area, much more safe. This area is kind of changed, and again, here we have new entrances into the river. Just kind of opening up the map a little bit more and making it so that you can move around a little bit more freely. Right, and then this down here is also kind of like a downhill area now, instead of being uphill. And yeah, so important notes here, important things to keep in mind is rune spots have been moved for the bounty runes. So you can see there's one bounty rune where the secret shop used to be. Secret shop is gone. If we go over here, don't worry, we'll talk about that other building in a second. We got bounty rune right here instead of like up there or up there. So you need to contest this. Usually what I've seen is one team decides to take this, the other team decides to take this one. They've got one bounty rune here, and then finally the last bounty rune is all the way down here at the old secret shop. Right? So this is where the bounty runes are. Another thing that I think is kind of noteworthy is this is an ancient camp. This camp just took me a while to find. Like, I don't know. I was kind of looking around for the ancients. That's an ancient camp, and then yeah. So I guess that's it, right? The other ancient camp is still in this area. This is still an ancient camp. Oh, sorry. Did I say secret shop, side shop? Secret shop is still in the game. So this is the secret shop. This one is still in the game, but no side shop. I apologize for that. So yeah, that's the thing. Roshan has been moved just a tad little bit. It's a bit further up here now. To be honest, I think this spot is ever so slightly better for the Dire. Right? But only very minimally. And actually, you know what? It's debatable. Like, it seems like it's just, like, there's just this big area now. So what they basically did is they created this big fighting arena here. Which is very intentional, right? So what they are saying is like, hey, you guys want to do Roshan? You want to fight around Roshan? So they put down a tree so you can hide behind it and all of that stuff. It's fun. I think this is the old Roshan tree that's back, which I'm kind of happy about. I don't know if you guys remember the old Roshan tree, but that guy was my homie, man. So yeah, that's one thing. The next thing you may have noticed already. I'm level 30. Yes, you can get to level 30. It's kind of crazy. So what does level 30 do? Well, level 30, first of all, you just get stats as normal. But at level 30, you unlock the entire talent tree. So nothing has changed up to level 25. Then 26, 27, 28, 29, you just get nothing. There's just nothing there. And level 30, you unlock your entire talent tree. So you can see right here, we actually have all of the talents that alchemists can have unlocked. And this works for any unit that is level 30. It's fairly straightforward in that regard. But level 30 has a few other noteworthy things that we should mention maybe. Respawn time does not increase past level 25. And also experience bounties max out at level 25. And then finally, the experience requirements to get to level 30 are harsh. They are harsh. I really want to be very clear about this. It's very, very difficult to get to level 30. So we've got some level 24 heroes here, right? Level 24, you need to get 2600 experience to level 25. From level 25 to level 26, you need 3500. And then it increases by 1,000 for every level. So from level 29 to level 30, you need 7,500 experience, which is a lot of experience. This is actually kind of massive. So in that way, level 30 is not something I expect to see in a lot of games, right? It's really kind of a super late game crazy thing. Level 30 is far away. It requires a lot of experience. So, then we've got spell immunity has been kind of adjusted a little bit. So spell immunity no longer grants 100% magic resistance. And I mostly just want to mention this because I want to explain how it works. So before, the way spell immunity worked is it gave you spell immunity and 100% magic resistance. So there were spells that pierced spell immunity, like for example Necrophos's ultimate, that did magic damage. Meaning that it would stun the target and the animation would come out and all of that stuff, and then would deal no damage because spell immunity gives magic resistance. Now, given that same situation, the Necrophos ultimate would actually deal damage because spell immunity no longer gives magic resistance. But things that don't pierce magic resistance will not actually be able to deal damage to a magic immune unit, because for something to deal damage to a magic immune unit, it first needs to get past magic immunity. And once it's past magic immunity, then it can deal damage. So in that way, there's been a few changes in that regard. For example, Necrophos, like I just mentioned, has actually been adjusted so that his ultimate no longer pierces magic resistance. But that's just a brief thing right there. Let's talk about side jobs, or, well, actually the lack thereof. So, side jobs are these beautiful things. Well, they used to be, and now they are these new ugly things. They've been replaced with something that's called an outpost. Now, outposts are these sort of capture points. You can come here, starting at 10 minutes into the game, and then right-click on them and channel to capture it. If you want to, you can have a friend help you, and then it goes faster. It takes 6 seconds to capture it, and after you've captured it for the first time... So, after you captured it, you get experience from it. You get experience once, the first time one of these things is captured, right? So what I mean with that is I go ahead and I capture this guy. I'm going to get experience, which doesn't really show because my boy is level 30, but just trust me on this. There we go, 1987 experience each. Now, this is because we had 78, like 80 minutes into the game, but you get experience. Now, after you have captured it, you get experience every 5 minutes if you're holding one of these outposts. Now, what's really important to keep in mind is you don't actually get experience for each outpost. You only get experience for one, even if you are holding both, which is weird. But that's how it works. Now, if you want more details on how the outposts work, I actually recommend you look at the document because I don't want to get into the super kind of nitty-gritty stuff. I tested a lot of it and I wrote it down, but right now it would just take a lot of time to get into that. Point being, what you want to do with outposts is you want to make sure that every time 5 minutes pass and the 5-minute timer hits, so 15, 20, 25, you want to make sure to have one of the outposts in your control. You don't need both. Both doesn't really help, but one helps. Now, outposts have a few other benefits. The first one being that they give vision. Not only do they give vision, but they actually give true sight in the area. I don't think it's in the full area, but in a partial area. And then also you can TP to them, although TPing to them is a little bit slower than TPing to normal buildings if you just use a TP scroll. right? Like, here we go. You can see it takes 6 seconds to teleport in. I didn't know that TP boots are faster, so I guess there you go. That's something new that we learned. But in that regard, it's actually very important to hold one of these capture points at the 5-minute timer. Now, as it stands, Outposts, I believe, are a snowball mechanic. They snowball the game into the favor of the winning team, because the winning team has map control, and map control means you can hold the outposts, meaning you get experience from an enemy team doesn't. Kind of a little weird, but that's just how it works, right? The important factor here is really that you can teleport into them. So at 10 minutes, try to capture these, and also try to capture them fast. Like, it's actually pretty important. So that is Outposts. So, let me go ahead and go have a quick look. We have a secret shop. Very, very minor notes about the secret shop here. Bottle can no longer be bought at the secret shop. And Ring of Health and Void Zone can no longer be bought at the normal shop. I thought that was worth mentioning because I buy Ring of Health and Void Stone a lot from the normal shop. And in that regard, you just can't do that anymore. So, keep that in mind. Towers. If you deny a tower, I don't know, do I have a deniable tower right now? Doesn't seem like it. If I were to deny a tower, you now gain half the bounty the tower usually gives. So before, when the tower got denied, kind of bounty got lost, right? If the enemy team kills the tower, they get 100% of the bounty, and if you deny it, nobody gets any of the bounty. So it goes from 100% of the bounty entering play to 0%. Now, if the tower gets denied, your team gets 50% of the bounty and the enemy team gets 50% of the bounty. So it evens out, but the bounty is put into play. And that's kind of the idea there. Put resources into play. So denying is actually really kind of valuable now, I would say. Like, it's nice to get that bonus gold. But in the end, I don't really know if it necessarily changes a lot in priorities of denying. Like, I'm actually not sure how that exactly will work out. But a few more notes on towers. All towers now deal more damage, so be a little bit more careful around them. Towers just straight up deal 25% more damage to heroes now. That's just a thing now. They just deal more damage to heroes now. So be a little bit careful around them. And then also specifically tier 2 towers have been buffed. So be especially careful around tier 2 towers, and Glyph has also been slightly buffed. So, we have neutral items. Neutral items are the wackiest shit. So, we're gonna go ahead and enable creep spawn. And hopefully we'll get some neutrals in a second. And then we're gonna go ahead and farm some neutral items. So, what are neutral items? Well, neutral items are weird as hell. Why is there just one creep? Alright, let me check. Did none of these creeps spawn? Alright, Dota is kind of freaking out. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about we're gonna farm a neutral item later on in the game. Right, but in essence, the way neutral items work, right, is you can drop them from neutral creeps. That's the big thing. If you go to a neutral creep in the jungle, you kill it, you have a chance to drop a neutral item. Now, not from the very beginning, it starts at 5 minutes. Now, there's different tiers of neutral items. When you drop one, they look like this, right? And then you can hover over it and we'll tell you what it is. So, you can see this right here, for example, is a tier 1, this is a tier 2, this is a tier 3, right? This is a tier 5, this is a tier 3 again, tier 4. Now, these tiers are based on the current time of the game. So from minute 5 to minute 15, you can drop tier 1 items. From minute 15 to 25, you can drop tier 2, and then it kind of goes on like that a little bit. So if you go in here, you can actually see the timings for it. Right, and then it shows you what we're in. So we're at 70 plus, so we only drop tier 5 items. Now, these items are actually kind of powerful at times. Like, so, for example, you've got Iron Talon and Trusty Shovel, which are quite nice items. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of these. And I actually want to just have a very brief discussion on something that I saw people talk about is like new player accessibility, that this right here makes the new player experience worse. I actually disagree with that. I think these items have pretty much no effect on the new player experience because they're not something that you have to learn going into the match. You can just farm the jungle, you drop one of these items at random, and then you pick it up, and now you just read it right then and there. You don't have to make a decision, you just get the item. Now, about these items. The drop rate works following specific rules. So, the first item you drop, your team drops, has a 10% chance to drop from when you kill a crit, right? After you have dropped one of these items, the next item from the same tier only has a 5% chance. And then it continues to go down like that, always halving. And as a result, you're kind of limited in how many items you can have of any given tier. Also, they are fully shareable, so you can give them to your team. You can help your team by giving them one of these items. Now, there's a lot of items right there. I believe it's 61 new items, and I'm not going to cover all of them. I laid out a bunch of items right here that I want to briefly mention that I find very useful, that I think are going to be notable and that you might want to know about. But in the end, I think you should just look at it yourself. Right? Again, you'll figure it out as you play because you'll only drop a few every match anyway. So, tier 1 items. We got the Arcane Ring, which is just smaller mana boots. We've got Trusty Shovel. This thing is awesome. It lets you dig right there, right like that, and then you get a random item. It's actually incredibly useful. I think it's one of the better ones. And then you got Iron Talon. Iron Talon allows you to just do Iron Talon stuff. It allows you to nuke down a creep for 40% of its current HP. This is a very powerful item. It used to be absolutely insane back when it was in normal Dota, just through buying, right? And yeah, so they brought it back. I actually think Iron Talon's definitely the best drop you can get from the tier 1s. But yeah, it's very powerful, and it's something that you should keep in mind. Then, tier 2, we've got Dragon Scale. This allows you to deal bonus damage to towers, kind of gives you a Jakiro effect. When you attack a tower, you deal burn damage to it. Helm of the Undying. When you die, you don't die, you survive for 5 extra seconds. Looks like Wraith King's ultimate, looks like Wraith King's Agnes effect. Just run away from them, they'll die after 5 seconds. Tome of Agnes, you can give this to somebody to give them temporary Agnes. Only 3 minutes, but on certain heroes it can actually be game winning. Like I gave that to a Luna in the match and Luna just blew things up, so it's pretty scary. I've got Greater Fairy Fire. Plus 30 damage, and you can use it twice to restore 500 health, and then it disappears. But the 500 health boost at the time you get this is actually pretty significant. We've got Third Eye. This is like a small gem. We've got Craggy Coat, gives you armor. We've got Clumsy Net. You can throw this to ensnare the target and yourself. That kind of looks like that. Right. Then, we've got Titan Sliver. This just gives you a bunch of nice stats, but magic resistance, status resistance, and bonus attack damage is just nice. Ironwood Tree is kind of a meme thing, but you can go ahead and plant trees with it. Doesn't really do anything else. Gives you some stats. You actually need to build it. Like it drops as a recipe. Mirror Shield. Now this is where the tier 5 and tier 4 items start coming in. So tier 5 and tier 4, you can start getting tier 4 items at 35 minutes at the game, tier 5 at 70 minutes. So I saw a lot of people freak out over tier 5 items, but tier 5 items are insane. So one of the ones I've got right here, this is the Fallen Sky. It's a Meteor Hammer and Blink Dagger. Look at this thing. It's insane. It even stuns things, right? Like it's the craziest shit. And yeah, it is actually insane. But the thing about it, you can only get it at 70 minutes, so don't worry too much about it, right? But you've got Apex. It increases your primary attribute by 80. Look at this, 80%. Look at how much strength I have now. If I get Ex Machina, I can use this to refresh my cooldowns on my items. I can get the Mirror Shield, which is probably the craziest of them all, apart from the Fallen Sky. But this right here allows you to like have a passive Lincoln's chance, 75% chance to reflect single target spells. So the tier 5 items are insane, but I really wouldn't put too much thought into them because it's just rare you're gonna get them. Then tier 4 items are really like what I would think are more powerful. And with those, I feel like you want to look at the Minotaur Horn, which is kind of a tiny BKB. The Leveler, which is just kind of like some splashing thing. You can see it's actually really good. I know it gives some attack speed as well. And then finally, I think the Ninja Gear is very good. Right, Ninja Gear allows you to kind of like smoke yourself up. Now there's one last item that I'm currently searching for that I haven't talked about yet, that I personally actually believe is the best and most significant item of them all, which is the Repair Kit. So what does Repair Kit do? Targets a building, restoring 40% of its health over 30 seconds. Also grants plus 10 armor and plus 4 multi-shot attack during this period. This is insane. This is basically saying you're not pushing right now. Now, you can only drop one of these a game, and even then, it's only a chance of dropping it. But the fact that it's a tier 2 means that it's actually tier 2 is the highest likelihood of dropping at all. right? Because at tier 2, you're powerful enough to clear the jungle, and you're also at the point where you probably want to clear the jungle a lot. So you're very likely to find one of these compared to the other items. And this is, in a base defense situations, I can see this being just super amazingly forestalling. So I don't know if it's necessarily going to be that strong. It's always difficult to judge exactly, but it seems like it could be insane. But anyway. So that's about the items. I have a list of the ones that I think are noteworthy in a document if you want to have a look at it. Then one last thing about items, we now have 4 backpack slots. Then we have normal items in the game, have also been modified a little bit. Again, we're going to keep it really brief here. But Ring of Basilisk doesn't build out of Sage's Mask in the ring anymore, and that shit's trippy as hell. Then we've got Vladimir's now built out of Ring of Basilisk and Buckler, which Buckler now builds out of Ring of Protection and an Iron Branch, and Buckler also builds into a Soul Cuirass instead of using the, what's it called, the Chainmail anymore. Alright, so it's kind of like, it's like you can see how it's all connected, right? Similarly, this affects all aura items, by the way. Like Drums of Endurance, they now have a crown in here. I don't know if they had that before, but I don't think they had a Gloss of Haste. But then we have ourselves, where is it? I can't find the... There it is, Helm of the Dominant. Helm of the Dominant, uses a broadsword, right? So, again, kind of like a bit of a different build-up on a bunch of smaller little items here. We've got Mecha now using the Chainmail instead. Right, just things have been just scooted around a tiny little bit. Crimson Guard now also using a Helm of Iron Vil. Holy Locket actually had probably the nicest change of the bunch, which is it now uses a Magic Wand, and you actually get to keep the Magic Wand effect, which is super nice. Bloodstone now uses a Kaya. It doesn't really provide any health regen anymore, but it does provide you just even more mana than before. So that's kind of neat. And also, Spell Amp is cool. And the charges now also generate Spell Amp. So that's kind of cool. We've got Veil of Discord having slightly different build-up with the Ring of Basilisk. And let me check really quick. I think that's most of the notable ones. Now, there's a few more items that had changes. Divine Rapier now gives you True Strike. Your attacks can't miss. So you don't need to worry about MKB anymore so much. Like, I feel like whenever I think about, do I want to buy Divine Rapier? I look at my items, I'm like, what would I drop? Probably the MKB, but I can't, because then I'll lose True Strike, and I need that. But that's no longer a problem. So Divine Rapier is pretty nice in that regard now. Then, Blade Mail no longer pierces magic immunity. Pretty important. And then Abyssal Blade, finally, I don't understand this change. This change is really weird to me, but Abyssal now blinks you to targets. Like that. Like, it doesn't have a ton of cast range, but it's got a bit. Like, you don't really need a blink dagger anymore, I guess. I don't know. Like, you still need mobility to kind of, like, get close enough for this. But this is... Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. This is just Abyssal Blade now. This is actually insane. Like, I gotta say, I personally felt like Abyssal Blade was good enough. Like, wasn't it a pretty strong item? But I guess not. Like, I guess not. All right. We are finally getting to the heroes. I'm sorry, it only took half an hour. This is gonna be another half hour before we're done. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about heroes. First, we got a lot of smaller effects, which we're gonna talk about as we get to them, but let's start with the bigger stuff first. We got ourselves Bane. Enfeeble is now a passive. Whenever you cast something, you apply Enfeeble for 8 seconds. Enfeeble has largely similar effects. It doesn't slow attack speed anymore though, but now it reduces magic resistance. This works well with Brain Sap, which has now been turned into magic damage. So you kind of cast it like that and it's neat, right? You apply your sleep. Important here is that the Enfeeble effect comes out before the like disables hit. So you can see if I have, for example, Fiend script, which is supposed to last 6 seconds, this actually like currently has 7 seconds remaining. So all of your abilities actually just last 30% longer. So in that way, Enfeeble, it's kind of nice. Like it doesn't need you to apply that first anymore. All right, goodbye, Bane. Then we've got Morphling. So Morphling, of course, a fairly important hero on Dota. Morph now has it so that you retain your current life percentage when you morph. So if you look at this, right, I've got my Nyx Assassin here. And if my Nyx Assassin attacks, I just take basically no damage. But if I morph into the Nyx Assassin, I have a lot less maximum HP. So now when the Nyx Assassin attacks me, I do actually take damage. If I morph back, you can see I lost that life pool. But now the Nyx Assassin is attacking me and I'm taking basically no damage again. I morph back and I haven't really taken any more damage. So it's about this percentage-based play now. It's a very significant nerf and something you should keep in mind. But to be honest, I think it's quite appropriate. Oh, well, actually, let's keep you around for 1 second because we can show off IO. IO's overcharge has been adjusted, and overcharge now, instead of providing damage reduction, heals you for a percentage of your maximum HP. So if you look at this, right now we're healing for 18 a tick. I activate this, and we're healing for 64, as well as this guy just having his own region. So it's actually a crazy amount of healing, especially if you have a little bit of HP. I mean, right now I got... yeah, you know, I got 2,000, but still not that crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of healing that comes out here. So if your IO actually has some items, I feel like the healing from this ability is actually gonna be kind of nuts. You know, you put a heart on the guy and ooh. Then we got Marcy Boy. So this one is actually kind of exciting. You can now activate Bulwark to kind of lock yourself in place. Not really in place, but like into a direction. So wherever you were facing. You can no longer attack. So if I right click here, you can see it just doesn't do anything. And you will continue facing this direction. Now, this ability does not have a cooldown. This is not what the fuck mode. It just straight up doesn't have a cooldown. Right? I can even what the fuck if you want. It has no cooldown. Just doesn't have one. So, what does it do? It makes it so that when a projectile comes fired at you, or into your direction, you have a chance of absorbing it. Even if it isn't, like, attacked at you. So you can see the ghost right here is actually attacking Clinks, but my Mars is absorbing the projectiles. This is actually pretty interesting, because, well, you know, you can now build, like, a very defensive, like, protecting Mars, I guess. But it's also just something you should try and keep in mind, like the fact that you can do this. But you gotta keep your positioning in mind as well. You don't necessarily want to like run in like this and then block hits, because you can, but you still take the damage then. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. Oh, something that I kind of forgot to mention, but is actually very important. I apologize for that. Stout Shield got removed. It's just not in the game anymore. No more Stout Shield. And to kind of replace it, every melee hero now has a base 8 damage reduction. So you can see how it's saying -8. Yeah, I don't have an item. That's just because I'm a melee hero. Yep, that's just how it is now. But yeah, I like this. I think this is super cool. It's also kind of neat because now I can, you know, like if I see enemies coming from this direction, I can activate this and just kind of like escape like this. The problem is that it does slow you, right? Also, wait, is this actually absorbing projectile? Oh my god, what's the AoE on this thing? To be honest, I didn't even check for that. Okay, so it seems... oh my god. Wait, we gotta kind of like... okay, how far can we go with this? This is an insane radius. Okay, how far can we go? I think that's it. Oh my, okay, so this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of radius we're talking about. Now, I think if we are facing away from the enemy, then it doesn't work, right? It needs to be within our kind of arc. But if I do this, look at this nonsense. Okay, so, I didn't even assume this would be a possibility. That's why I didn't test for it, but oh my god. Mars is a bit silly. It's kind of neat though, I dig it. Alright, So we've got our little Wraith ghost right here. Everybody say goodbye to him or her. We got ourselves Clinks. So, what about Clinks? Clinks had a few changes. First of all, Skeleton Walk now provides 160 attack speed when you come out of it. So I go invisible and then I get the bonus attack speed. Nice! Right, I only have to skill 1 ability for that now. Fantastic. And then I have Burning Army, which Burning Army now no longer deals damage equal to your, like, based on your base damage, even though the ability says that, because who needs tooltips anyway, right? But instead, it now deals damage based on your actual attack damage. So that's nice. But the numbers seem quite scary. So instead of dealing up to 120% of your base damage, it now deals 28% of your attack damage. I have to say, that sounds to me actually strong enough. Also, we have Death Pact. So Death Pact is Clinks' new / old ability. It works like this. You can consume target enemy unit or skeleton. So you can even summon, like, eat your own little ultimates. Like, look at that. And then you gain bonus health. You gain armor reduction on attack. And when you attack something... when you kill something that you attack with your armor reduction, then you get permanent bonus damage. And you can use this on creeps. No, farmer creep. So Clinks got a lot of stuff. Like, just a lot of it. Like, I don't really know why he got so much stuff, but he's got a lot of stuff. So Clinks seems really powerful. Alright. Next up. Treant Protector. This guy is a doozy. There's a lot happening here. So, first of all, Overgrowth now deals damage. Even without Agnes. See, I don't have an Agnes. Secondly, Living Armor now is just a heal. Right, it just heals. It doesn't have global range anymore. It gives you bonus armor, quite a bit of it. Gives you a little bit of a heal. Alright, so 240 heal over 8 seconds, 14-second cooldown. Actually seems pretty decent. Right, it's not like a crazy massive burst heal, but 16 armor and what is that, 30 health a second in the early game means you're unkillable. Then we have Nature's Grasp, which kind of looks like that. Look at that. So, what does it do? Creates vines towards the target location. Vines slow down and deal damage to enemies that walk through. Vines deal 50% more damage if they touch a tree. That's half damage to creeps. So, they don't have to cast it on a tree. I can also just shoot it like that. Alright. But, yeah, it just slows things. So, you can see my boy is really slow right now. Oh, no. He can hardly move. It lasts a while, too. But then he's fine again. Doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but, you know. Actually, 60 damage per second is pretty fine. And then finally we got Leech Seed, which now it's just kind of like, you use it like that. And it just targets like a random target in an AoE around you, right? And it just heals, like, based on the damage it deals. So, right, it's no longer a single target thing, you just kind of cast it and then it will do stuff. So, yeah. So Treant has changed a lot. And you may have noticed he doesn't have invisibility anymore or tree walking. Just doesn't have those things anymore. Feels a little weird. Doesn't really feel like Treant, but alright. So yeah. Razor. Razor is a fun one. Alright, have a look at this. So, first of all, Storm Surge, which gives you bonus movement speed. And it gives allies around you also bonus movement speed. This is just Barathum's old passive. Cool. We're going fast now. Then, we've got Static Link. You cast this, and now you just attack them. It's like Windrunner ultimate. You can run around them, and just attack them, as long as you're static linked up to them. Which actually seems quite in line with how this hero wants to work. Also, you might be like, oh, what happened to his old passive? Well, he still has it. It's just part of his ultimate now. That's it. That's what's happening. Alright. That's Razor. Lone Druid. Lone Druid has a lot of stuff. Okay, so I actually want to pull up my notes really quick so I don't forget everything that's going on with Lone Druid. So, first of all, Lone Druid's Spirit Bear now has all abilities starting at level 1. Alright, just has all of them. But you can see they scale. So the abilities become more powerful as you level up the Spirit Bear ability. Also, Spirit Link is now a passive. Where if the bear was to attack, which I can't show you because Dota is buggy, but if the bear were to attack, I would get healed. But if I attack something, then the bear doesn't get healed. That doesn't work. Savage Roar now always casts from both units' locations, no matter where I'm casting it from. Pew, 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 pew. Actually, I don't think I can. No, you can still cast it from the bear. But it just goes from both units' locations. Then True Form. True Form now transforms you for a limited duration. But then you get Demolish and Entangle, which is kind of sick. Right? You are now also a bear. And that's kind of nice. You are transformed. Cool. You get bonus armor and bonus HP, but it only lasts 40 seconds. I know I'm trying to sell non-druid so hard, but like, I don't know, I think it's actually kind of neat. I don't know, I didn't really like the old ultimate that much. Now you got Demolished, which is kind of neat. So there's non-druid. Then we've got Outworld Devour. Arcane Orb now has a higher damage number. And it doesn't steal intelligence anymore. So that's kind of sad. Right? But it is supposed to steal mana, which oh no, actually Sanity's Eclipse steals mana. Sorry. Okay. There we go. So, Arcane Orb just does damage as before. Essence Flux now has a chance to restore mana as before. And by before I mean a long time ago. Right? So you can see I attack, and then, hey, we triggered! We get mana back! How nice is that? Now you may notice I'm building up these charge counters, which these charge counters give us mana. Where are the charge counters coming from? Well, every time we use Astral Imprisonment or Arcane Orb on something, we get a charge counter from Sanity's Eclipse. These charge counters last 35 seconds, and they refresh themselves when you cast them, and you get bonus mana per mana. And then after you've got a lot of mana, you get bonus mana per charge counter. You can use this to deal a lot of damage. Boom. Oh, that wasn't actually that much damage. But yeah, that's basically it. So like OD went from caring about intelligence to caring about how much mana he has, which actually kind of makes sense. Okay. By the way, if it feels like I'm moving really quickly, there's a lot to cover. I'm trying to be kind of speedy about it. We've got Doom. Doom is scary. Like, hella fucking scary. So, Doom has a new Agnes effect here. Where his new Agnes effect affects Inferno Blade and makes it so that it has an increased stun duration, an increased burn duration, and it applies a break for the burn duration. So the burn duration is now 6 seconds, it stuns for 1.75 seconds, and it breaks for the duration, which looks like this. Isn't that insane? Now it looks a bit more, there we go. So you look at my cooldown here, like isn't this crazy? You can just kind of keep the burn up permanently on something, very easily. You have a stun on a 4-second cooldown, it almost lasts 2 seconds. This to me is a very, very powerful effect. I would not be surprised to see it picked up very frequently on Doom. I mean, I'll definitely be buying it. We've got Lycan. Lycan is a weird one. Okay, we kind of need a buddy to show what Lycan does. So, Lycan had a few changes to him. First of all, Howl, now in a 2000 radius, it debuffs enemies as opposed to buffing allies, right? And it debuffs enemies by reducing their attack damage and also reducing their armor. Kind of looks like that, you see. Now they have the thing. The kind of cool thing about this is you can use the wolf's location. We're gonna have to summon these wolves here. Also, look at my mango farm. Anyway. But I'm running out of radius, so you can see I'm out of radius, right? But the wolves actually cast it too. So the wolves also apply the thing. Now, to be honest, this is not what people are talking about when they talk about Lycan. What they're really talking about is this new Agnes. So what does this new Agnes do? Well, this new Agnes makes it so that you can use your ultimate on an ally. Like that. You can see my Enchantress is now a small little wolf. Now, this small little wolf is a melee unit. And has all of the other properties that Lycan would usually have. One additional thing though, they lifesteal for each other. So now when these two attack, they both have 30% lifesteal. And they lifesteal for each other, which is kind of crazy. Look at that. So very powerful in that way. I'm not sure if we're gonna see this effect a lot. Because I don't really know if you can afford to buy an Agnes on Lycan that doesn't really push. But the item itself is really powerful. Also, I don't know if this is a bug that's related to me being in this weird lobby or if Lycan is just buggy. But you can see I have all of these bites down here and I'm running around with max movement speed without ultimate. I think this is not intended though, so don't worry too much about it. Hey, look, there's our Enchantress. What does our Enchantress do? Well, there's a few things here. First of all, Untouchables, now her ultimate. Yes. And it doesn't gain any new effects, it's just attack speed slow. It appears as spell immunity now, I guess. I guess that's a new effect. But that's it. Impetus is now just a regular ability. You just level it up. It doesn't do as much damage anymore, although it still hits pretty damn hard. I mean, like, it's still kind of a very good ability. Look at that. 122 bonus damage. That's not bad at all. Also, you have a new Agnes effect, where you get this ability right here. It's called Sproink. It has a 3-second cooldown. And what it does, it leaps you backwards. Like that. Just a little bit. What can you do with this? Well, you can do fun stuff like this. Whee! It's not very impressive. But, no, it's just not very impressive. We have Lifestealer. So Lifestealer had a lot of changes. First of all, his base attack time is better. He's got higher base attack speed, right? And then also, Rage now no longer gives attack speed, but instead gives you movement speed. So you can see him running a little bit faster. Feast gives you attack speed, right? So you can see I attack really quickly, but it no longer deals damage based on the enemy's maximum HP. Instead, it now deals, gives you lifesteal based on their maximum HP. Open Wounds is the same as before. And then Infest now automatically takes control of whatever unit you're infesting. And you can also, if you have Agnes, you can infest an ally and then give them rage, which is kind of crazy. And also they run really quick now. And I think they get bonus HP. So that's that. Also, I have no idea how I'm going to get the lifesteal out of the patch, so I guess the patch is just kind of got a lifestealer in there now. Let's talk about patch instead. Patch got a new Agnes effect. Side note, Rot now can no longer kill yourself. You just can't do it. Right? Like, even though the tooltip says Patch can deny himself of his ability, that's a lie. He actually can't deny himself of this ability. That just doesn't work anymore. Also, Dismember, you can now use, if you get an Agnes, it no longer upgrades the Q, but it upgrades Dismember. And you can use Dismember to eat allies. Look at that. Now I've got a Lifestealer and an Alchemist inside of me. Isn't that great? So now I've got this Alchemist inside of me, and I can pop him out. Now, while the Alchemist is in there, he heals. So you can... Oh, we're gonna need to what-the-fuck this really quick. Alright, so you can see my Alchemist is taking damage. Oh no, it's a tragedy. Oh god, oh no, what do we do? Alright, oh no, my Alchemist is almost dead. Don't worry, Patch to the rescue. I will hook you to safety and immediately eat you, because I am totally not Tom Kench. And so I am healing you now, and out you go, and look at how much he healed. It's actually a really strong effect. This thing is actually nasty. Like, I think this member is kind of crazy now. So yeah, Patch is kind of really strong with that. It also just reduces the cooldown. And he's got like some nice Dismember talents now. Dismember double damage / heal. Kind of neat. Okay, Sansa. Oh, Sansa's a scary one. First of all, Glaze of Wisdom, now steal intelligence. Alright, so if I attack here, you can see the damage of the Glaze of Wisdom continuously goes up because my intelligence continuously goes up. Secondly, Last Word now deals bonus damage based on your intelligence. Also, if you have an Aghanim Scepter, it becomes an AoE targeted ability. Now, what kind of AoE are we talking about? Is it a reasonable AoE? Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? Let me show you. Oh my god, this is disgusting. So Silencer's E has the most disgusting AoE with the Aghanims. Like, it's actually just gross. Like, it's massive. This thing is huge. On top of the really good cast range on the thing, this is gonna be a very easy thing to hit multiple heroes with. Like, it's just not gonna be hard. On top of that, it actually does good damage. So it's just really good. This is just very powerful. So yeah, that's Silencer. Alright, get out of here. Kunkka! Oh, Kunkka is fun! I think I'll just show you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, okay, I cheated a bit. I mean, naturally, that was like multiple casts. But Kunkka gets a new ability if you get Agnes, which is called Torrent Storm, which releases a visible torrent in a random area around you every 0.25 seconds for 5 seconds. And that kind of looks like this. Right, so this is... I just used it once this time. It's still pretty nasty if you ask me. Right, it's kind of unpredictable, and the important thing here is the enemies can actually see the location of it, but it is still pretty nasty. Also, important note about this is you can actually move with this, so if I, move around, then it gets moved with me, right? So this is something to keep in mind about that. Then we've got Vengeful. This is actually probably like the most insane one. So first of all, Vengeance Aura. Vengeance Aura now gives bonus primary attribute and bonus attack range, right? So currently I have 400 attack range. I maxed this out. I now have 580. Cool. Agnes now makes it so that when you use a Never Swap, enemies around the target location are feared. It doesn't reduce the charge restore time anymore. Now, 700 radius is big. Remember the Silencer radius? Right? Remember this? This is 600 radius. Right? 700 radius is insane. It kind of looks like, I think this... Yeah, this should be a good... Okay. I just barely managed to actually be outside of the 700. So let's try this again. Okay, not quite. Not quite, not quite. Trying to like get the exact value. There we go. See that? Hit that guy all the way over there. You can see the AoE on this is fairly significant. I'm just kind of like trying to hit the exact right amount though. Alright. Now, you don't even need to like be that precise with this though. Because like the AoE, first of all, is massive in team fights. Things are going to be a lot more cluttered up. But you can just run in and use it like that. Like, I mean, think about that. Right, so it's very, very strong. 700 AoE is big. Very, very big. And then you get 2 charges of it. The duration isn't super low. And it's essentially a stun. Talking about fearing and essentially stunning. Shadow Fiend. So, Shadow Fiend has a new effect on his ultimate, the Requiem of Souls. Now you can use Requiem of Souls to fear people. They are feared based on how many souls they've been hit by. So since I only have 11 souls right now, they aren't going to be feared for very long. The one difference about the Shadow Fiend fear compared to pretty much every other fear in the game is that this fear isn't based, like doesn't chase them back to their base, but instead just chases them away from you. So let's say your team is here, you can actually like blink BKB behind the enemy team or like Shadow Blade in there, use that and chase them into your team, which is kind of interesting. Dragon Knight, probably my favorite one. Agnes now gives you flying movement on top of everything else. That's why he's up here, because he can't just fly around. He's a dragon. It's a bit silly. Yeah, this effect is fine. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it. I think it's gross. Like, I thought like Agnes on Dragon Knight was fine. But yeah. So you just kind of fly with this now. Right? Now, from what I understand, this is only the Black Dragon. Right? It doesn't work with the other dragons. So you need to be level 18, but I mean, it's kind of your priority anyway, right? Anyway. Viper was changed a little bit. So, first of all, the poison attack now reduces magic resistance. Right? And also, it applies stacks. So you can like apply up to 5 stacks to an enemy. Which means additional movement speed slow, additional damage per second, additional magic resistance. Magic resistance reduction. Never Toxin no longer reduces magic resistance, but instead, it increases in damage over time. So it just kind of looks like this, right? Pay attention to the damage they're taking. 4, 6, 8, 9, 11, right? It just kind of like goes up, and then eventually it maxes out. So it spends half its duration ramping up, and then the other half being at max damage. It actually does do quite a bit of damage. This is actually pretty scary. So, yeah, to me the bigger thing though is the poison attack stacking with itself, which I personally just never want to deal with. Luna. Luna's Blessing now gives you armor. Look at the armor. Haha. That's it. That's how exciting this is. Ricky is annoying. So, a smoke screen no longer slows and just only gives mischance and silence. That's just what it does. Kind of like back to the old times. Blink Strike can be used twice. It has 2 charges. Tricks of the Trade is now his new kind of like normal ability. Now, earlier when I was using this, it was really weird and super buggy. And I don't know if it's still that way, but we're gonna go and try it. Yeah, so it's supposed to target any enemy in the AoE. But from my testing here, now I don't know why that is, it only targets this guy. Just like only that one Nyx. I guess he just really doesn't like that one. I don't really know why that is. I don't know if that's like some weird testing bug or if that's a weird Ricky bug. But he just doesn't like this Nyx. And then, of course, we got Cloak and Dagger is now his ultimate. So kind of back to old school Ricky here. Undying. Flesh Golem now applies a debuff. Also, it increases your strength. Yay! Debuffs! The debuff deals damage per second and slows. Wraith King. Vampiric Aura now gives bonus damage, but doesn't affect creeps anymore. So you can see we've got 24 bonus damage. Nice. Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger got a new ability. It's called Multi-Shot. It looks like this. It's a little channel, you just kind of shoot some projectiles into the area. The important thing about this ability is that it does not pierce and that the projectiles can be absorbed. So you can see that this guy in the back here is not really getting hit by this because the projectiles aren't hitting that Nyx. Now every Nyx can only be hit, or like every target can only be hit once. So in that way you can sort of pierce, and you can see I got it through because these guys were already hit by a projectile. This does apply Frost Arrows, which Frost Arrows now also give a little bit of damage. So, kind of nice. And actually, it's a little bit better as Frost Arrows. Finally, Marksmanship now gives a little bit of bonus agility. By a little bit, I actually mean a good chunk. Alright, so she gets 35% agility from Marksmanship. And we got a few more Agnes effects right here. So, Assassinate now applies a stun. Also, it comes out faster. Cool. Boring, but cool. We've got ourselves Time Walk. Time Walk, when you land at the location where you're going, will use Time Lock on all enemies there. Like so. Cool. Not so cool. We've got Sven. This one is actually cool. He will now be 4 and leap in with his hammer. He becomes invincible while doing so, and it just looks very funny. We've got Elder Titan. Astral Spirit now gives the magic immunity like that. Right, so when it comes back, you gain magic immunity for every hero hit. 2 seconds per hero, so actually quite a bit. Huskar. Life Break now applies a taunt. So if I go ahead and do that, you can see the guy is attacking me and forced to follow me. The taunt isn't very long. It's only like 2.5 seconds. So I don't really know if that's worth it, because it kind of lost its other benefits. So Clockwork. Clockwork gets overclocking, which is a new ability. For this one, we want to unmod the fuck really quick. Clockwork refreshes all of his ability cooldowns. So I go ahead and use all of my stuff, and I am in battle. I overclock, yes! And then I can use all of my stuff again and immediately run out of mana. I also get bonus attack speed for a short while and bonus movement speed. But after it ends, I get stunned for 4 seconds. Got a 60-second cooldown. I have no idea how good that one is. Honestly, that one's baffling to me. No idea. Phantom Lancer. If you get Agnes, Phantom Rush just doesn't have a cooldown anymore. The bonus agility still does, but the actual kind of like charging somebody down thing doesn't. And doesn't have a minimum range or maximum range. Either way, you can't just continuously, endlessly use it like that. Like, you just run people down like it's nobody's business. It's a bit silly if you ask me. We've got Ancient Apparition. Chilling Touch now doesn't have a cooldown with Agnes. Which actually is really cool. I would love to play carry Ancient Apparition with that. Necrophos. Heartstopper Aura. Now, if you get an Agnes, right, it increases the damage it deals during Ghost Shroud, as well as Agnes reducing Ghost Shroud cooldown. So you can see currently deal 18 damage a second to these guys, and now we deal 36 damage, well, not a second, a tick. 36 a tick to these guys. Right, now this is actually a lot more impressive than it looks like right here, because these guys have heart, right? But if we go ahead and we just disable their hearts, then you can see that this does actually kind of tick them down pretty quickly. You can even, if you want to be super fancy about it, wait, do we have a tome somewhere? There it is. Let me grab this tome really quick. So we've got our Heartstopper Aura maxed out now. Where we do that, and then that made no difference. That's kind of disappointing. Oh, right. Then we've got Skewer on Magnus, which now has a lower cooldown and a lower cast point. I mean, it's pretty powerful, actually. Like, I mean, 4-second cooldown on this thing, and it comes out super quick. Lich makes Sinister Gaze and AoE. Looks like this. It's actually kind of neat. Also, very important, you no longer get the infinite bounces on Chain Frost. It may say upgradable by Agnes, but that's not true. Don't trust the tooltips. The infinite bounces you can get through the talent. Okay? Cool. Level 25 talent. Oracle. Fortune's End with Agnes has a massive cast range. Like when I say massive, I mean look at this thing. It's huge. Right? So, and also, when you channel it, it's got a bigger AoE when it hits, and then also stuns people for half the duration of the route. We've got Darkseer, which the wall is really long. And also, Vacuum has a low cooldown. And that's it. I'm not even gonna bother. Just trust me, it's got a 12 seconds cooldown. Invoker. This does no longer upgrade Invoke, it now upgrades Sunstrike. And it gives you the ability to cast Cataclysm. That's it. That's all it does. I don't expect to see that much more of that. Slog. Slog's is funny. It makes it so that Pounce has increased pounce range, increased speed, as well as you get 2 charges of it. Which kind of looks like that. Goodbye, Slog. Oh, he's out. He's just leaving. So yeah, Slog just jumps really far. Like, really quickly. It's quite funny. And that's it! Last few things. Alright. There's the Mango Tree, which is like the best item in the game. Mango Tree just produces mangoes. You can plant it. Okay, this is the best item in the game. I love this tree. Also, you can get an Ironwood Tree, which is a recipe you can get from the neutrals that just kind of gives you some bonus stats. You cannot sell these. I hope. I mean, it says 70 right here, but... No, you can't sell mangoes in general.
For YouTube? Just joined Smiley.
Hey, Lord Bob. Yes, we are almost done. This was very long. Oh, there's no shop here anymore. Big oof. No, you can't sell mangoes, right? No. Can't sell them. Can't sell them. Oh, yeah, there was one thing that maybe we should also do, right? I see some people mentioning this. But there's Ursa. Urshok now is a little jump. It's pretty cute, actually. Like, I quite like it. I like the little barrel roll he does. I didn't include this because I felt like Ursa wasn't actually... Like, this doesn't really change how you play Ursa. He's just a little better. But it's really cute, so maybe it's a fine thing to end this with. Actually, never mind. Here's what we're going to end this with. So, Phantasm creates an illusion of allied heroes. Creates an additional illusion for Chaos Knight as well. The way this works is it creates illusions for all allied heroes. And those are just illusions we have now. Now you may notice I have a lot of allied heroes. This is why we save Chaos Knight for the end. Oh! Hey! We're still alive. Alright. Look at our illusions. And they are pretty powerful and all of that good stuff. Alright. This ended up being a little bit longer than I really wanted it to be. But, well, look, if they release patches like this is the short version. This is really as short as I can go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a rating on the video. I spent all day working on this. That shit would really help me out. Like, we literally spent like 6 hours working on this shit. And yeah, document in the description if you want to have a look at that. And also, don't forget about the disaster sale. 50% off, right? Get your copy now while there still are copies. Like, we only have like 1,000 copies left. And afterwards, that's just it. There's no more chance to get it. It's just gonna be gone. All right? Cool. Thank you very much then. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.